It provides a set of core competencies and standards that learners have to know and understand.
So pause. The competencies, the standard that learners need to understand, the curriculum has provided it already. It has planned and provided it already. So when you are going to teach, if you are taking time to visit it, it has provided everything in it. So you are not going to plan the competencies they should. You are not going to plan it. It has been planned and it is in. But when you are one try back up can one year, who say and the way now the person is here, and don't know what I'll let us down at least. These few things is enlightening us. Let's move. The one we can still go down, scroll down. Or, but please when you go, read this side, the new record, there's something in it. For this reason, there's something in it. When you take your time and read what you have. And then say, yeah, now I need to fight it. Over time. Sister, let's go down to let's see the table of contents. Rationale. The rationale for the primary science is a bit different from the rationale for history. It's a bit different from the rationale for English. Yeah, this is where we see the difference. Because the rationale, the mind they use to prepare for each subject looks a bit different. So if you are a history teacher, at least read the history curriculum to find the rationale.
But I think for the language they are all the same, the rationale is the same.
Unless we read today.
Oh,
so one downloaded Chi, right, and one downloaded English. So I will let you read. What subject?
I want to say English.
English. So let the English teacher read.
Rationale for primary English language. Language is both a medium of communication and a library in which the elements of culture are stored. It remains the most reliable means through which the elements of one's culture and that of other people are transmitted from generation to generation.
Okay,
First,
so the rationale looks at how to transfer culture using language as a means of communication. Let's look at the Chi. It's the same. Do you have maths? Let's listen to the maths.
Mathematics forms an integral part of our everyday lives. It is a universal truth that development is hinged on mathematics. It is the backbone of social, economic, political, and physical development of a country. It is a never-ending creative process which serves to promote discovery and understanding. It consists of a body of knowledge which attempts to explain and interpret phenomena and experiences. Mathematics has changed our lives and it is vital to Ghana's future.
You know the rationale is different from the language. If you're a mathematics teacher, at least read, open the curriculum for mathematics and read the rationale behind it. It is not your purpose. It has been designed for the country, and there is a reason why they designed the maths curriculum as such. So you being a teacher using it or teaching mathematics, know the rationale. Does anyone have history? Okay. Microphone.
History is a subject that explores the past with the aim learners to analyze, evaluate, and interpret past events carefully in order to make informed decisions.
Surprisingly, for some time now, we've been seeing and hearing and watching Ashantis and whether Doma or something. We've been listening to whether kings or chiefs speaking. And that is one of the reasons why we are learning history. First of all, taking ourselves to our past. Where you and I were not there, not even our children. Knowing where we are and where we want to get to. Surprisingly, a teacher goes to class after also taking part in what is going on social media. You know the rationale for teaching history. Don't go there when you are Santifor. That is not where we want to go to. And if you are not careful, you also start creating that in a class, forgetting that the students you have in your class are from different tribes. Forgetting. And that Santifor feels superior. And they'll go with it. And they'll go and they'll join that debate on social media. Nothing will change their mind. Because my teacher can say, Asantifuana, and the Kurufuana, and the Unafuana. Know the rationale and use the material well. It should aim at national development. So let's put that one to here. In the curriculum, there is something which is defined as philosophy. The philosophy, it defines what is called teaching philosophy and learning philosophy. What teaching is and what learning is. It is not what you think. It has been defined in it. Should we read the philosophies? So let's start with teaching philosophy. Chairman, are you reading or a question? You are reading? Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
The teaching philosophy, Ghana believes that an effective science.
Again, Ghana
believes that.
Please, so it's not what you believe. The philosophy that is defined as teaching. Know it. Let's go, please.
Ghana believes that an effective science education needed for sustainable development should be inquiry-based. Thus, science education must provide learners with opportunities to expand, change, enhance, and modify the way in which they view the world.
Of course, one, it should be inquiry-based, and it should give learners the opportunity. It should give learners the opportunity. When you go to class, you should know the philosophy, what the curriculum defines as teaching philosophy. As a teacher or facilitator, let that also be your idea, through which you deliver a lesson. Should we take another subject, the philosophy of another subject, so we know for science? Is there any other subject reading? Teaching philosophy. Okay, sir, history.
The philosophy of learning history is based on the need to produce citizens who are able to reconstruct the past by describing, analyzing, and evaluating past events. Learners should critically trace patterns of human behavior and
Don't go
communicate.
too far. When they go to read, start again. The first sentence.
The philosophy of learning history is based on the need to produce citizens who are able to reconstruct the past.
So if you are a history teacher and you go to class, understand what is defined as teaching, the philosophy. There is a need to produce citizens who are
able to reconstruct the past by describing, analyzing,
and this is what you are doing as a teacher. This is what you should do as a teacher. That is the philosophy of teaching history. It's not what you think. It's not what you want. It is defined. I believe from what we are reading, we are seeing the essence why, as teachers, we need, whatever subject that we teach, we need to know the philosophy of it. Let's look at learning. Learning philosophy. Just under it, we have the learning philosophy. And we have another people reading. Okay. Learning philosophy. Just to English. Okay. RMB. Okay. Please, let's listen. I don't think we've listened to RMB today.
So,
the learning philosophy, right?
Yeah. The best way of learning religious and moral education is through. The best way of learning religious and moral education is through practical activities like demonstration. role plays, recitals, games, program work, and visiting important religious and historic sites.
Pause. How many Arabic teachers know this? How many Arabic teachers do this? Textbook, open to page 24. So that is a mosque. That is where the Muslims pray. But you have a mosque there. Why don't you negotiate with the leader there that based on learning, okay, we want to come. I want to bring my children there, whatever you can have interaction with them. But then they shouldn't be religiously polluted. You can even discuss with your pastor or one of these Wednesday or weekday service. It is allowed. It is not about testing. So let's start again. The best way
of learning religious and moral education is through practical activities like demonstration, role plays, recital, games, group work, and visiting important religious and historic sites.
Someone is asking a question. Please ask it loud.
Please, I said, can you also take them to the shrine?
Can you also take them to the shrine? Yes, of course. Why?
It is not only the learning situation. They need to know what happens over there.
And some of the learners, they can just go home, tell their parents you took them for sacrifice.
Take them for sacrifice. I took them for horse. Okay. Should they also go to the shrines?
No.
So which society is that?
Because of the global witness, and maybe right after maybe going to other place maybe for teachings, and within some few minutes the child gets to school. Let's assume that the school decided to take them during the days. And after their teachings, then around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, the child will come home. Maybe I was taking to maybe Vincent Shrine.
Okay.
And we perform social and so.
Okay.
Now I think looking at both sides, maybe the name of the school is Eduplus. Yeah, because now I was giving an egg, maybe let's say a wine.
And it affects everything, even if when the law offended us, you show that that's matrimony. You show that that's matrimony. Because you have that mentality. And you never got closer to know what they think, what they do, and why they behave so. However, I believe because I go to church, what we believe and the things we do are right. That is my belief. Not forgetting that what they do and their belief, they do they are right. Until we come to know and understand each other. Other than that, we keep on separating ourselves, and this will forever affect the community. Oh, my maybe catch yourself. Conform back, conform your taban here. She no only be a popular na to my tell so. And if we live with this, so the issue is education should help us understand ourselves better. But then when our belief and mentality will keep separating us, then this challenge will forever live with us. It should help us to understand ourselves better. You can't say you could some won't say you could but you have the need to ask questions. What it means, why? It doesn't mean what they say you should believe it. I don't think because you're in a classroom, all the Muslim students believe what you teach as a Christian. And all the so this is should be there. But then we have distanced that belief so much. We've distanced it so much because it comes from Africa, but the two of them I think came from somewhere, so they are special. But the other one, which we have practiced a long time there, I just want to say that. So you see, based on this, most teachers, when we are teaching, I don't like teaching Arabic. Personally, I don't like it. And personally, I have a problem why you test Arabic, why you do Arabic exams. I have a problem. Well, I wish we should teach it in school. But why should we write Arabic exams? It has to do with religion and moral. Can I ask a question? it's just a scenario. I'm not saying it's true. We believe when students are getting ones in the subject, it means the teacher is good or teaching them well. So in a school, all the students had 1 in ROE and 3 students had 2. No one had a head. And we know the teacher is so good and the children are so good in religious and moral education. But that same teacher had got 2 of the students pregnant. So is the teacher still a good artist? Why? All the students had 1. 3 had 2.
He isn't practicing what he is teaching.
But you examine the children. All of them had 1. 3 had 2. And there's a girl who had 1. There was a question on obedience. He scored 20 out of 20. He doesn't obey her parents.
My understanding, NACA engineers, the curriculum is based on exam system. The curriculum is structured for exams, not to let's say to mold our life or anything. It's just based on exams, and there's a disadvantage in that.
NACA and GS. You say GS. You take NACA out. For what they written, it is never based on exams. For what they have written, it is never based on exams. For what they have written, it is never based on exams. But Ghana Education Service. So I've been always wondering. Teacher young and grade 2. Obi a 1. Ni asanya 2. Obi a 3. To say teacher ni young here and also here. On the grounds of morality. He has failed. April 2020. But then you can say, will you say she's obedient because she had 20 out of 20? So you see, personally, I feel how religion and religious and moral education is being handled. If we leave it to exams, then how do you even test the grounds of morality on paper? So we try here. It's a pretty board here, pan and so says not the war. The obedience were treasury doesn't mean umuhi. So when you are teaching, the reason why I don't really like RN, I don't want to teach and test you. Because the test doesn't really give me feedback. Any feedback on morality. So it's advice, counsel. And at the end of it, you should aim at morality. It's not just about talking about Jesus Christ, it's not just about talking about prophet, but you should aim at morality. And these things should come out of your student for you to know that you are making it. And it's not just about scoring hiring. You'll probably be super scoring. It's really nice because RME is for exams. When you pass, you down one. It is not changing life. Can we go on? Are we done with the learning philosophy? The general aims are the same. They're almost the same for all subjects. Let's read 2 or 3. I see. Science, right?
Yeah, yes. The curriculum is aimed at developing individuals to become scientifically literate, good problem solvers, have the ability to think creatively, and have both the confidence and competence to participate fully in Ghanaian society as responsible local and global citizens.
If you're a science teacher, please take note of that. You can write it and put it in your class.
The curriculum is aimed at developing individuals to become mathematically literate, good problem solvers, and who are also capable to think creatively and have both the confidence and competence to participate fully in Ghanaian society as responsible local and global citizens.
If you're a math teacher, pay attention to that. So something changes here. English. There's someone for English. Okay.
The core aim of the language and literacy curriculum is to enable learners develop an appreciation and understanding of the language, of the English language, and to use it effectively, making meaning with it in ways that are purposeful, imaginative, creative, and critical.
So English teachers understand this. And you can say the voice is no wabon. Well before the general aim of the English curriculum. You didn't define it. It has been defined already. The subject aims are different for all the subjects. The subject aims are different for all the subjects. Even though some words will be similar, but the subject aims are different for all the subjects. I won't go to instructional expectations. Let's go to core competencies. It has a lot of core competencies, and if you open the curriculum, you always have it when you're going to teach it. It outlines it, and teachers need to know. If you're going to teach on a topic, the core competencies are there. You need to know it. Don't just step in and you start teaching. Let's read the core competencies. You read the heading, and these are the ones: critical thinking, creativity, innovations, and those things. You come to that place. But let's read the meaning there. Is anyone having a microphone? It's like, what can I say to you? Yeah, guys, but we are going to end it very soon.
Please, the core competencies for science. The core competencies describe a body of skills that teachers at all levels should seek to develop in their learners.
Summarize. That skills teachers at all levels should seek to develop it in your children. Teachers at all levels should seek to develop it in your children. Whether it is commercial school or far away school, once it is in Ghana, you should seek to develop it.
There are ways in which teachers and learners engage with the subject matter.
Pause. Have you realized the ways are already there? How you should engage with your student concerning subject matter? It is in the curriculum. And they have been outlined for us. Let's go.
With the subject matter as they learn the subject. The competencies presented here describe a connected body of core skills that are acquired throughout the processes of teaching and learning. So we have the...
We are not going to read. Let's just read the heading. The first one.
Creativity and innovation. Creativity and...
Pause, Samai. So when you are going to teach a topic, it is not just for them knowing. Okay. It should enable the competence, the skill they should develop from it. That they should be creative and innovative around that topic. So not just what you are giving to them. They should be able to create and innovate their own ideas, what we are discussing in class. We shall not have an petition. The petition and I'm going to now, we go school, near school. I don't know say photosynthesis no one be better than start out here. But can be great. So when I came, petition I used to say 20 and one was because for some petition, no matter how I number it, number was serious. I just want to see if something will change. If nothing changes, or the other I just wanted to see something. And you should understand, learning, it came out of curiosity. We don't like stubborn students. Or to work class and hard, we don't like them. But seriously, most innovations came from them. Most of the things you are standing in the class teaching came from students who are willing to try everything. Even when they are asked to stop, they still want to. They want to hide and do it. Most of the things we know we are teaching, they came from these students. So please don't, it's good you characterize a child. You try to shape a character and behavior, but don't change their personality. Say, don't change them. Because they are the students who really innovate. They want to try everything. And when they are successful, something comes out. Officer boy out now oye go bia oye na du. Senya na so na eden na ya na opo pe bibia hwe a. You would have been disappointed. Teacher ni waka say masa. Pe be bitina e be so anka aso. So whenever you are teaching, aim at active and innovative. So look at the questions or ask them specific questions. If you know the topic there, the subject is there, what you know, don't just tell them. Ask them questions. Listen to their ideas. Ask them questions. Let them create. Ask them questions. Just look at what they arrive at. Whether it is true or false, nothing has been tested. Whether it is wrong or correct, you have not tested it. It doesn't mean what has been created is the only thing that can come out of it. So it is not really what you know. It is not really what we see. But don't just say they are wrong. The purpose of it is for them to be creative. What the child is saying has not been tested. But I realized at the point in time, I'm say, because of ABM, but probably something changed somewhere. But and we should create such students. So this is one of the core competencies in your lesson. Please aim at it. Creativity and innovations. And yeah, what's great? So, well, sometimes they say something, say, okay, well, don't die with that knowledge. Try it. No one knows what will come out of it. Try it. No one will come out of it. I had a student, one Muslim boy. Now, yeah, who knows who was surprisingly, ne papa so the BIM mono. Open your school. Or see, he wants to learn how to do an atomic bomb. The Busa Saturday, say, I want to blast my father to let him know that I learned. I want to let him know that I learned something. And how? What's one of the Busa said? And then I exploding. These are the questions he asked. What's one of the person can have party as an offer here? You go near your good day, pay in your quiet passing. People say, and you and what more than you need? What did he and you may say so work, but he has a mind, it be a day to the near papa or the plastic. But let him go with it. Yeah, go for also. Creativity and innovation. Core competency. Let's go to the second one. You're listed, me already. You're listed.
Okay, we have communication and collaboration.
So the classroom setting. Yeah, keep quiet. Cover your word. The man work out now. In the sample, I see so many names. So what happened? Let them collaborate and communicate. You understand it? They take ideas from themselves and they share ideas. Let them collaborate and communicate. When they say, "Oh, please every day," so it's quite good. But I say, "So also why?" And I'm telling you, yes, it's true. Someone did not learn, but let them communicate and collaborate. So it is an access to learning. And yet, our work is only a year. It is an access to learning. So Kata no explain chat tentena. And you chat tenten bi na oye ka o. We chat zero with magazine of exercise. But you chat tenten no. O man tie and this will go with me fix it. Understand it? So learning, I just want to say that there is life after this. Life doesn't end there. There is life after this. So don't teach your children just for exams. There is life after exams. Teach them in such a way that they grow. After school, whatever they went through in education comes out to the world. There is life after education. So we are not really teaching them because of exams. We are not teaching them for PEC. We are not teaching them for SSC. Any other competence? There are plenty.
We have cultural identity and global citizenship.
Are they here in Ghana? Can you read what is there?
This competence involves developing learners to put country and service foremost through an understanding of what it means to be active citizens.
Put what foremost?
Service foremost,
And
through an understanding of what it means to
there
be
was, you
active.
mentioned country somewhere. So start again.
This competence involves developing learners to put country and service foremost through an understanding of what it means to be active citizens.
So for now, we believe all of us, most of us, we are corrupt. That I'm saying, but some way, somehow, maybe it is how our curriculum, the first one we're using, taught us. Rebecca said, but the people who have started using this curriculum, we see their life reflection probably in the next 10 to 15 years. Please allow yourself to let them acquire these competencies. We don't know if something will change. We don't know if something will change. This is what this curriculum aims at. We don't know if something will change. But please, don't let us use what was given to us to teach them. If we use that same process and procedures to teach them, then they will produce the result we are producing now. They will produce the result we are producing now. But let's use it wisely and make sure we acquire the competencies. We don't know if something will change. But remember, something will change. We are moving from here. Now let's pause and have a discussion. Have you learned something so far?
I think I've learned something, and from the look of things, it appears that in teaching, we need to consult the curriculum to know what we have to learn as teachers before we go on to teach our learners. I think I'll have to pause here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. From our little discussion, I would say, as a teacher, in preparing or getting to class, what must come in mind first is to accept individual differences before you get to the class. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Accept individual differences.
Uncle Ben,
Yes.
I've also learned a lot. And you've made us understand that when we are teaching students or the people, we should not restrict them from copying, because copying is part of learning. The fact that the child has been able to identify that this particular thing that we have written is the answer to this particular question, learning has taken place. Then, of course, our preparatories and parents who need to be educated on this, because we believe that, or they believe that, if the child is able to theoretically produce whatever he has been taught, being orally or in a written form, that shows that learning has taken place. But in this case, you have made us understand that in learning, it is not always when the child is able to grammar aspect. The child can be developed in different aspects. For instance, the child we are talking about who always create problems in the classroom here and there. Even though academically the child is not good, but in some areas the child might be very, very excellent over there. And if our parents and our focus is on grammar reading, if that happens, we are being a disservice to the kids, and we are also not treating our teachers fairly, because learning is not a change of behavior as a result of experience or practice. So if a child comes to school and he or she cannot read, and initially the child used to dress anyhow, and now his dressing has changed, learning has taken place. But as educators, our focus is always on reading and writing calculation. And if you do that, we put unnecessary pressure on teachers, and they will forever use the cane. They will try to use the cane to make sure that the child does what he or she wants to achieve. So we should look at that way so that it wouldn't be that teachers need to force the student to do reading and writing always all the time.
We have some people joining us. Are they in or?
But I have a simple question. My question is, in assessing the learners, exercises are used to assess them and homeworks. And I think examinations are also used to assess them. But during the exercises, you don't separate the desks. You should allow them to do whatever they want. But during examinations, you just put desks here and there and prevent them from copying. So that's my question. Why do we have to do that during examinations? Thank you.
So teachers, you answer that. But because two people have asked about this, I'll let us read assessment. What the curriculum defines as assessment and what the curriculum sees as assessment. Peer examination is one of the assessments we do. See, I will let us read assessment. Asana, and the section. You want to answer it?
Please, concerning
Pause. I'm going to answer his question.
I want to.
You are sharing your idea. Why is the answer in your pocket?
Yes, I want to find. You want to find out.
So you know, or you think?
I know.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, we combine them when we are exercising them, when we are giving them exercises in the classroom. Simply because, as a teacher, you want to find out the level of the understanding. And that will help you to proceed with your teaching. So, in the process of giving them exercise in the classroom, is to help you the teacher, to know where you are heading towards. And then we separate them when we are conducting end of term exams, simply because that is to help us to more or less like, you said? More or less like they are to move to the next stage. So we are conducting, or we separate them so that we will get to know what actually they know in whatever at all that they have been taught, to be able to help us know where to place them. So that's the reason for separating them when we are conducting end of term exams, and when we are giving them exercises in the classroom, we combine them. These are the two reasons. Thank you very much. Yes.
No, he's sharing this idea. I'm not saying
there is no way. That is the only two ways. Or these are the only two reasons why they are separated at the end of the term and why they are combined when we are accessing them in the classroom. These are the only two means, or these are the only two reasons.
Martin. But I also talk about this. Let me talk about it. No. We have an idea, but we wait.
That is saying it's okay to separate them when they are writing exams, and it's okay to combine them when they are writing exercises. Because you, the teacher, wants to know where you are heading to when it comes to the exercise. And just as we are seated like this, you've given us exercise. This lady, no, I don't know. So I copied from her. And then I wrote the right thing. So she scored 5/5. I also scored 5/5. So the whole table, we all had 5/5. So you know that you've taught and we have understood whatever you said. So you are proceeding. Meanwhile, I copied. And I didn't get it, but I copied from someone. So how would you know that we all understood or not?
I'll not answer this question. And two, unless we finish reading what the curriculum defines as assessment. But I want to say this. I said it and I'm repeating it. Don't develop students for exams. understand and repeating it, our competencies. This is the competencies. Critical thinking and problem solving. It is not just about scoring 100. It is not just about what I'm teaching in class, what you score. What will you create with it? The knowledge you are sharing. What are you going to create? Score 0 in 100. Create a television. Score 0 score 0. Create a television. Score 100. Don't create anything. That is not the aim of the curriculum. The core competencies. That's why a teacher should focus on that. Most of the students, no, most of them who made innovations, most of them were not the intelligent ones in school. They were not the intelligent ones in school. The intelligent ones were scoring 100. They were getting the certificates. And they just needed work to be employed. Without work, they have nothing to do with their knowledge. Most students were scoring the 20s and 10. But they were thinking about writing what you said. They were thinking about just writing it on paper. They were rather imagining. They were rather creative, asking themselves what they would do with it. They scored all the zeros. They didn't get any certificate. No work employed them. But they opened work themselves with that same knowledge you give to them. So don't let your purpose of teaching be exams. And now I just want to 100 in a baby juma. Omo 000 na e do omo ko juma no. Enyema na o kai ye. Some begin to apply and create jobs for those who have 100 to come and sit in the office just to sign. And I'm telling you, they have employed you. And I don't want to talk about it now until we finish reading assessment. So let's go to assessment. Let's go to assessment. Scroll down to assessment. You have a question? Or you are reading it? Assessment. And the microphone. And I think the assessment also may be the same for all.
In this curriculum, assessment is emphasized as a tool to promote learning by all. Its purpose is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of learning. Assessment is emphasized as a tool to promote learning by all. Its purpose is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of learners to enable teachers adapt their teaching. This will in turn help learners to progress.
So pause. The sentence you just read before this read it again.
In this curriculum, assessment is to emphasize as a tool to promote learning by all.
So, what we call exams? It is defining what exams should do. It should promote what?
Learning by all.
So let's go.
Its purpose is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of learners to enable teachers adapt their teaching.
So, the assessment is to enable you to adapt your teaching. It is never to judge the child. Read assessment online. It will tell you this information that is used to judge, but this assessment it never judges a child. So the assessment is not a tool to judge a child, but to enable you rather to devise your ways and good. Okay? The issue is to help the child. It's not to judge the outcome of the learning. So when you finish, you look at the 3 forms of assessment. It gives 3. Assessment as learning, assessment for learning, and assessment of learning. They are different. And we shouldn't always aim at the end of the term, at the end of the term, at the end of whatever. So use assessment well. Because the 2 one is to enable you develop ways and means, know the weaknesses of the child, and enable you should use it as a tool rather to devise ways to help the child. It never judges the child. So yeah, they are not so yeah. It is a word being not running that so it means you never centered on the child when you were teaching. You never centered on the child. It doesn't judge the child, it rather judges you. It is, bruh, may exams, no be at 100. Make us a summer yard, you get 100, or be at 10. Or no 9 yard, there be nature at the enemy done room. Nature at the end. Semi assessment here and say he is weak somewhere, and that should have given me an information to help that child. But me we are no picture 100, no picture 10. You try 10, and yen 1 yard he was weak somewhere. But my finding out in the room. But you should understand, say it's a learning for all. Learning, you started reading, that's the first sentence you read. Learning for all. So, yes, it's like that. When we come to class to supervise, you realize that I say, what do I want? Yeah, crack I want to ask you. And I said, you give me a class like a media or not, or such or said, take your time. Take your time. I don't know. It may not be part of it. I read something about differential learning or differential something. Differentiation, yes. I don't know whether differentiation is somewhere. I read it. But go and read on differentiation. It tells you you can even change your mode of assessment. I can give an exercise to different groups. For one group, I'll ask you to define photosynthesis, define it. But with the second group, I'll give definitions and ask them to match. With the next group, I'll give the headings and ask them to fill in. Understand is the same question I'm giving. But my questions are different based on your group. See, as I said, sometimes when I am supervising exams, those exam players know, I change most of their questions. You know why? Because in grade 1, define a family. Explain what a nuclear family is. Explain what so I ask myself, if a child is not good vocabulary and the child is not able to define it, it means the child doesn't know. That is what that assessment will tell me, that the child doesn't know. So sometimes I change the question, I put the words there, then I give definitions. If the child can identify the field, then he knows. The fact that he cannot write doesn't mean he doesn't know. The fact that he cannot express it doesn't mean he doesn't know it. But the more define, bro, for in your behind as you do better. And I didn't even fight you today. You know, quiet and send your children and say, to whom it is son, a ya say, and planning baby are born. But the task itself is difficult. Yes, some will be able to achieve it. We never look at the differences there. And we always feel those who are scoring the 20s, they don't know it. So, very your question. Very good. I told you, money and yet, make us say, and provide information. If the child is able to respond, it gives you information the child needs. Oh, man, in such a way, say that your own enjoyment in your trial, nay, and say, only. Meaning, name and Tiaka, a different. Any meaning try different. See, yes, I'm still, yes, so many yet. This is many jam, I think to now, practice to a ministry at the bank 3 years ago. Shall let us send it here. We have a question and we expect them to pass. And I've been saying it. Ghana has intentionally planned to make students feel because our school cannot employ them. We intentionally plan to make students feel. Because in this school, it's a continue. Yes, I'm saying don't do. Some teachers here because they don't have schools to post us. Yes, say we try the problem. It will be a school degree. By 3 years now, we will be the next 10 years, we try degree. Will be a post 1 because school be where you go to. Say, when we are school, what failing work is contributing. What is that waste? But we're only producing people who write exams. We are not encouraging people to build schools to employ. We only produce people who can write exams. And we are full of certificates. Maybe you are watching them school, my post because people we could be best out to be just say, well, do this before you can teach. we students build such students. We students build such students. We should build students who are creative and innovative. And yes, Eduplus is a so assessment as learning is the first tool. Let's read it. Someone should read as yeah, download the curriculum. And I see. Minyakra kaba papa position. We know one more so that they get assessment. Alright. Teachers no new. Ade bi wo ho a yaye ne yede amaye. Yinim kwan ye fa so ye no. Ade bi wo so kwa de ayenye maye kwa no ase amaye textbook na yakwa class ni ye kira de. But there's something which is very important. We call it scheme of work or scheme of learning. So 3 year e bi na school na ye dada. Na anaso bi ye no ko en wo de ma o. Onti ase ye unma de pro. Na o kira de ko. So for him na kwesi hen so for kwesi hen all the an say watch that there no am exams no be try 8 be try 19 no be try 10. But we need to understand it also. Even if we can't do it, we need to have knowledge of it. And it is not difficult. I'm just going to show us how we can. I'm not going to teach us. Show us how we can. However, there are some among us who really know how to prepare the scheme. So with this, we may even break into sections, classes or a baby member for class. We will try to prepare a scheme. The difficult one is preschool, nursery, day, crèche. In fact, there is no scheme, standard scheme or national scheme for a crèche or nursery school in Ghana here. When we say crèche school be crèche or nursery or schema, your money device here. They developed it themselves. We don't have a national one. But for KG, grade 1,